Hello, I am Kaha and this is the Canon's new camera C50. Don't forget to subscribe. First of all, thank you to Canon that gave me the chance to test out their new camera. But before we started, I would like to tell you about myself. I am the DOP, mostly work on the documentary style videos, films, short films, storytelling content, and etc. I also do some commercial videos for social media platforms and created sport content for one of the best YouTube channel in Georgia. For my freelance project, I mostly use the Canon R5C that I owned, but I have quite a bit of experience with the Sony FX3 too. It's from one of my job site, so I can compare this camera to each other. But for this review, my goal was to put the C50 in the real life shooting conditions, so I decided to go alone, solo, no crew, no light. I packed up as light as possible. I also don't bring with me any extra gear, just a tripod and counting on the natural light. I only had the camera just for 2 days, so I decided to go to the Georgian mountains, the place named Bakhmaro. I filmed there a portrait of a guy who I never met before, so he takes part in the traditional annual horse race. I'm not going too deep in the technical specs of the C50 because I'm sure that plenty of the other videos will cover that, so I would like to talk more about the real-world experience with this new camera. Let's start with the three main highlights that C50 has that stood out to me. The first one is the dual pixel autofocus second generation. The second one is the battery life, it's really improved. And the third one is open gate support for the anamorphic lenses. Now we can use any anamorphic lens that we would like. I only did some basic tests with the open gate, so I'll focus more on how it performed during the actual shoot. The moment when I picked it up, I really liked it. It feels super comfortable in the hand. It looks more like the R5C, which I also own, but with a more refined design. Big plus is that the camera comes with a top handle that includes built-in audio inputs, 2 XLRs, and unlike the FX3, this handle feels super secure and well attached to the body. I'll jump ahead and say definitely C50 is better than Sony FX3, and I think it won't be worse than Sony FX3 Mark II when this camera comes out. Now let's start about the filming. I met up my main character Muradi early in the morning. Every summer he brings his cows to the graze in the Bakhmaro mountains. I shot most of the footage in the 4K C-Log 2 to have more flexibility in the post. To be honest, I did not get a chance to fully explore all the custom pictures. I recorded on the CF Type B card at the highest quality setting using the XF-ABC codec. Now you can choose between bitrates from 250 till 500. If you want to have the max quality, definitely you should go to the CF Type B cards over the SD, especially if you want to filming in the slow motion, because the SD cards can have some limitations. The C50 is super comfortable to shoot with a handheld. The buttons layout got an update and is now even more user-friendly. There are 14 customizable buttons. I mostly shot handheld, and even though it does not have any in-body image stabilization, the C50 felt great in the hand. And let's be real, how many cinema cameras actually have an IBIS? Continue with the lens. I have used the Canon's new VCM primes 20, 35, 50 and the new 85, plus two zooms, the 24-105 and 70-200 from the Z series. Beyond the great image quality, I really liked how all these lenses are the same size, like the proper sign lenses, which makes rigging and using accessories much easier. One of the good news is the full-size HDMI output. Also, when I used the external monitor during the interview and had the headphones plugged into the control the audio, unlike the FX3 or the R5C, I could use the monitor freely. It was not limited in the flip. About the screen, it is similar to the one on the R5C. Shooting in the sunlight, I set luminance to the +2, which helped me a lot. And now I think you would have a question about the battery life. This is the real huge improvement over the R5C, which we all used to complain about. I was able to get about 1 hour and a half per battery, shooting across the different codecs. For example, from 6 AM to around 2 PM, I only used 3 batteries in total. To be honest, I'm not sure how long the batteries would last only at the highest quality, but each one gave me around an hour and a half. It's really great for this kind of batteries. And it is more than FX3 batteries works. As I mentioned, I have a big experience to work with this camera too. And one more good update is the battery indicator. Now we can really trust in it. Midday, we headed to Murat's sister's place. There is a family tradition. Before the race, he visits his sister's family in the nearby village Zortigheli. I filmed a traditional Georgian cooking scene there. For this, I decided to shoot in a RAW, and yes, the battery does drain faster in a RAW, so makes sense, more data, more power. But even so, I got around 2 hours of total filming with just 2 batteries. Later in the evening, I returned to the village to get some more landscape and lifestyle shots. I shot both handheld and on the tripod too. One more great feature is that the C50 can also shoot photos. It's not a pro hybrid camera like the R5C is, but it has 2 different menus and there are some limitations in the photo mode. For example, there is no viewfinder. Also, there is no mechanical shutter and no flash support. I managed to take few photos while shooting the video, which makes this camera even more handy for the people who like to take pictures too, like I am. But the quality of the photos are really good. If you compare it to the R5 Mark II, it's very close. Most of the day I shot at the base ISO 800, and as it got darker I switched to the second base ISO 6400, and wow, it looks really clean. Even ISO 12800 is very usable. To be honest, there is more noise, but it's still totally manageable in the post. I tested low light both at night and during the blue hour, and the results were seriously impressive. Now I can use high ISO without any troubles. One thing that I found is the difference between the full frame and Super 35 in low light. Full frame giving me a cleaner image. And therefore I think that the Canon C50 is a true competitor to the Sony FX3 in the low light situations too. When I sat down with the editor to start grading the footage, we were both impressed. Raw footage was surprisingly easy to work with the DaVinci Resolve, smooth playback, responsive editing and tons of flexibility in color. C-Log 2 gives us a lot of flexibility even at a high ISOs. I was seriously impressed, and not only me. I really don't have any exact number of the dynamic range, but visually it handled highlights and shadows really well. The next good chapter in C50 is the autofocus. I think we need a separate video about it, but I will try to say shortly. I really liked it. The second generation dual pixel autofocus works much better than on the R5C. If you compare it to the FX3 in terms of speed and flexibility, they are pretty close. But the face-only feature, which I have on the R5C and absolutely love it, is also available here. And I think that gives the C50's IF a real edge in the end. I assigned IF settings to the different buttons, which makes it really flexible during the shoots. Tracking system also worked well. Just tap on the screen to activate it. During the horse race, conditions were not ideal. Tons of dust, low visibility, fast motion, but the IF performed like a champ. For filming the horse race, I decided to use 7200 with the battery grip, which made the camera feel more solid in the hand and gave me enough power to shoot the entire 3-hour event without changing the battery. I shot a lot of slow motion in 4K 120 FPS too. So the autofocus really looks great and you can trust in it. Not for this video, but I did a few tests with the Atlas anamorphic lenses in the open gate mode. The fact that the small camera like this can shoot anamorphic with such great results is amazing. You can shoot open gate in either RAW or codecs, which opens up a ton of options for film and commercial work. As far as I know, the C50 is the first Canon camera with open gate. If you are into the cinema style content, this is a massive plus. I also want to mention a few more features this camera has, even though I didn't need to use them while shooting this video. First off, it balances really well and quickly on a Ronin, which makes setup super easy. There is a digital zoom button right next to the record button, and it's actually pretty functional. It gives you a zoom effect similar to the broadcast cameras has, up to 4x. Of course, that comes at the cost of the image quality, since it's the digital zooms. And it can also work as an optical zoom on powered zoom lenses. Now about the downsides that the C50 has. To be honest, not much, but I would like to mention two of them. One is about a half, but still. The first one is no in-body stabilization, which might be a deal breaker for the someone, but as a solution, there is the digital image stabilization. And the second one, and more important by my opinion, is that there is no sensor protection when changing lenses. This was something I was especially cautious about during the dusty horse race. If it had a cover that closed automatically like the R5C has, I'd feel a lot safer. Other than that, I'll need to spend more time with the C50 to find any more downside, but I'm sure I would not find many of them. And the final thought, in my opinion, is that the C50 is the true competitor to the Sony FX3, but in many ways much better. So we will see how it holds up over the time, but for now I'm really impressed. So thanks for watching. If you would like to check out the video that I shot on the C50, please check the link in the description and don't forget to subscribe.